Hello and welcome to the Generation Gapcast.
Ooh.
The podcast where we put the past, present and future in the same room.
Oh.
You're right there.
Yeah?
This week, we're diving under the duvet and asking a very important question.
Oh.
Are we all sleeping wrong?
Oh. From power naps to sleep hacks, night owls to early birds, and everything in between, we're talking about one thing that affects every single generation: sleep.
And we're not doing this alone.
No.
Oh, no. We've got two brilliant sleep experts in the studio with us today to bust myths, share tips, and finally answer the big questions.
Woo!
Why do teenagers never sleep?
Why do adults wake up at 3 a.m. and start worrying about everything?
And is scrolling your phone in bed really that bad? Or are we all pretending we don't do it?
So get comfy, grab a coffee, or maybe don't if it's late, and let's find out how to get the best night's sleep of our lives.
This is
The Generation Gapcast.
Let's Go!
Here we are with Louise Berger. She is an occupational therapist and behavioural sleep medicine specialist based in the UK. She founded and leads an NHS insomnia clinic and has supported thousands of people to rebuild healthy sleep using evidence-based interventions. She also works privately and shares more about her work at www.louisebergersleep.co.uk. Louise teaches widely and helps shape national standards for sleep care through her work on professional committees and advisory groups.
Welcome, Louise. Hello.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Would you like to give us a little bit of rundown of what you do?
I'm an occupational therapist by background, and around 15 years ago, I was working in my hospital and was invited in to establish an insomnia service within the existing sleep clinic. And it's a wonderful place to be. The sleep world is a small world, but certainly evolving. And there's definitely a lot of people who need sleep support and help with sleep disorders. So it's just a really fun area to be. And I really enjoy being able to help people have a positive impact on their sleep and consequently on their life.
How bad are we as a nation at sleeping?
So I think it's really mixed. I think people fall into different categories. So we have some people who sleep fine and they're doing well and they're feeling well. We have some people who might fall into what we would call the won't sleep category, as in they're maybe burning the candle at both ends, not particularly prioritizing it, or maybe they're shift workers and they don't really get much of a choice but don't have the opportunity to sleep. And then we get a lot of people falling into what we might call the can't sleep category. Those people who really do value sleep and they try very hard, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be working very well. Perhaps they've got insomnia where they're lying awake at night or waking in the middle of the night, or maybe a sleep breathing disorder, which is interrupting their sleep quality, or maybe even something like sleepwalking, sleep talking, that kind of condition. So a lot of us are having some sort of issue with our sleep, whether that be we're not getting the time for it or taking the time for it, or we're allowing ourselves the time, but it just doesn't seem to be going very well.
I think I'm all of them.
Really?
Yeah. I love sleep. I don't get enough of it. Anyway, well, this isn't my clinic, so let's. Yanni, what's your opinion? How do you feel about sleep?
I like it when
Yeah.
I get there.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get there, is that a bit of a challenge?
Sometime I know I struggle. Like usually I'm like I'll go to bed earlier tonight and I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't feel tired during the day. But even when I try and go to bed earlier, I just end up going to bed at the same time. Even if I start my routine earlier, it's weird.
Is that because you don't feel sleepy earlier, or is it because the things that you're doing are just so engaging and fun that it's difficult to pull yourself away?
I think it's just more because
I think it's because you sit talking to your friends at 3 a.m. on Snapchat, playing FIFA at the same time.
No, not 3 a.m. 2 a.m.
Yeah.
No, it's more if I do end up like in bed earlier, I just go, this gives me a bit more time to relax, and I just end up going to bed at the same time.
It takes quite a lot of discipline to get ourselves to bed when there's something else fun to do, or maybe even something else that we need to do. it's hard to do that, and our brain isn't functioning very well at night. So actually our ability to reason and problem solve, or even to rationalize that tomorrow we might not feel very good if we stay up late, actually our brain is kind of getting in the way of us being able to think those things, and instead it's really motivated towards reward. It's all about what makes me feel good right now, and usually we feel a whole lot better just watching another episode of Netflix, in the sense that's more enjoyable, versus the hassle of having to go up to bed, brush our teeth, do the bedtime routine and then go to bed. So it's very easy to be sidelined by our emotions at nighttime.
I have a bit of a weird question, because I don't know if
Go for it.
I don't know, like, Dad, if your friends ever used to talk about this when you were younger, if it like existed.
We used to have a lot of rubbish when we were younger. Still do. Go on, try.
Yeah, you definitely still do.
Yeah.
No, but my friends started talking about lucid dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's lucid dreaming?
It's basically when you know you're dreaming and you can control what you're dreaming about.
Yeah.
And what amount of that is complete nonsense and just completely fabricated from like social media, and what part of it is true?
So do you mean, is it actually possible?
Not necessarily, but are there things you can do to make you go into a lucid dream, or is it just you do, you don't?
There is, you can train yourself to become more able to do that. And I'm saying it hesitantly because I don't actually know what the training is. I know that it exists because I know it's been used in clinical trials. Certainly Jason Ellis has been using it as an intervention for nightmares. And I know that there are books out there teaching people how to lucid dream. So yeah, it's definitely possible. And I think it can be quite fun for some people. I've never quite worked out why you'd want to do that though.
I know. I was going to say, is it just what do you see it as Yoni? Do you see it as a social media craze? Is that what you're getting at?
Not really a craze, but my friends definitely. Well, not many of them, but the ones that have mentioned it.
What, you haven't got many friends?
Definitely quite keen on it, if that makes sense.
So
it's just something to do when you
enjoy doing that. Do they? Being able
I don't even know if they've ever done it. They just like pretending they know how to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's the biggest whopper about sleep that you've heard? The biggest nonsense that gets touted around?
There's just so much. There really is so much. I think
there's the one that everyone goes, oh, guess what? I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, there's the cheese thing, right? Everyone knows the cheese and bad dreams.
Just
thing.
saying, I haven't heard of that before. Today.
What? You haven't heard of the cheese thing?
No.
If you eat a lot of cheese before bed, you don't sleep. You have bad dreams. You must have heard.
Nah.
Oh, you missed out.
Never.
Missed out. Yeah.
No. Well, because okay.
I mean, one of the prevalent ones I still hear a lot is that the hours before midnight count double the hours afterwards. Have you heard of that one, Yoni?
No, the main one all my friends laugh at is the whole go to sleep at 3 a.m. and you'll get like haunted.
Oh, I've never had that.
Have you not? Oh, yeah.
If you go to bed at 3:01, it's okay. 2:59.
Like staying up at 3 a.m. is like scary. Not really anymore, but that was
Your friends are just weird.
No, but did you not see the YouTube videos that were like from like 10 years ago? That was like YouTube. Staying in Tesco till 3 a.m. to see what happens.
Right.
Well, probably because it's 3 a.m.
No, not because it's 3 a.m. because they think they're going to get like hit by a ghost.
Is that when all the ghosts come out?
When the chicken legs
Apparently,
come out?
Yeah. All the potatoes like wake up.
I've never heard that one. That's
and then there was another thing.
Glad we've got it down to a level of haunted potatoes. Immediately dragged it down all the years of training.
And then there's
Louise
also
has been through, and we're talking about
potatoes. I can't believe I didn't get the potato training. I feel like I've missed out now.
Spuds.
And something that I've always been very, very curious about, and I think I mentioned it on one of the other podcasts, is sleep paralysis. Is that, do people sort of not exaggerate, but do people almost over... I was going to say over talk, even though that's not a thing. Like talk about it when it's not really...
Make more of a deal than it is.
It's definitely a real thing, and it sounds, from all the people I've spoken to, it sounds really terrifying. So essentially it's a function of the fact that while we're in dream sleep, we're paralyzed. And we believe that's a safety mechanism, because if we were dreaming that we were running or in a fight and we were actually throwing our fists around, then we could cause ourselves injury or cause someone else injury. So we are paralyzed aside from our eye muscles and our breathing muscles. And that's why it's called rapid eye movement sleep, because our eyes are darting backwards and forwards when we're dreaming. But for some people, they seem to experience sleep paralysis from time to time. And that is when the brain has essentially woken up and they're aware that they're awake. They cannot open their eyes and look around, but their body is still in that state of paralysis. And often that can also be accompanied by a vision of a demon or some sort of, something horrible, something very dark, standing beside them, standing at the foot of the bed, or maybe even sitting on their chest. So it can be very freaky. It doesn't usually last very long, so we wouldn't expect this to last for more than a minute at most. Often it might be seconds, but as you guys probably know, when you're in a really frightening situation, time slows down.
Because I've had bits, where you sleep and suddenly you're in that sort of in between, I don't know what stage it is, and you jolt suddenly and you realise you've jolted.
Yeah, the roller coaster thing. That's what we call it. We call it like you feel like you're falling out of a roller coaster.
No, just like your whole body, like a bit like almost like you've been electrocuted. Like a big. I'm doing it. I'm demonstrating it, but realizing that no one can see. Obviously,
no, I can see.
Oh yeah, apart from you.
Yeah, and again, it's a really frustrating time to experience something like that because you are just drifting off. Your muscles are relaxing, and then you seem to get this reaction where either your arms or even your whole body might jolt, which actually can kind of wake you up a little bit. It is a really good sign, though. It's a good sign that you were drifting off to sleep.
Is there something that you could sort of sit there and go, you know what, I wish that would never happen. People would be sleeping so much better if this hadn't appeared or this wasn't a thing.
So I think the two things that jump out are the trackers.
Okay, guilty. Right.
Just because people become preoccupied with data and they feel like it's telling them bad things about their sleep, and then they start to worry, and then they really do develop a difficulty getting to sleep or staying asleep. So we now have a new category of diagnosis called orthosomnia, which is essentially insomnia that has come from an attempt to perfect sleep, and almost inevitably some sort of tracker wearable data will be involved in that. So that's definitely one component. I think the other thing we probably see more of is since COVID, a lot more people are working from home, and that really has blurred the boundaries on work time, home time, relaxation. And I guess I speak to more people nowadays where actually they're, still trying to do their work at like 10, 11, 12 at night, and then saying, I just don't get it, I'm absolutely knackered, but I can't sleep.
In terms of so Yoni's age group, the 16 to, I guess, I don't know what the bracket would be, 24, 25-year-olds. How much of their lives have been affected by stuff and their sleep patterns, do you think? Has that changed over the last 10, 15 years, do you think? Or has it always been an issue? It's just other things that get in the way of is it just more stuff?
Yeah, I think it's much harder for teenagers nowadays than it was maybe for you and I when we were younger. There just wasn't much for us to distract ourselves with. I remember thinking, I don't want to go to bed now. And I put on the radio, and that was literally as exciting as it got, a radio. And it really never was exciting like 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. It wasn't much at all.
Is there a single sort of piece of information where you could say, look, you know what, if you don't do anything else, try and avoid doing this? What would that be? I guess
I would say there's probably no magic wand for sleep, and there's also no one thing that is universally terrible for everybody. I guess, though, what I would be encouraging teenagers to do is to be aware of what it feels like when they haven't had enough sleep, to know what the impact is on them, and to have that awareness. Well, if I need to get up at this time, then what sort of time am I going to have to close down to then feel well the next day, to be at my best at school, which is hard work anyway, to perform my best in sports, which is really important to me. It is sensible to slow things down a bit before bed. It is sensible to reduce our lighting generally, because if the sun has gone down outside, then we want to be able to let our body know that actually it is nighttime, so that it can produce that melatonin to help us sleep. Yoni, what do you notice about your sleep? What really sets you up for a bad night versus a good night?
Weirdly, like I tried it the other night. So I have this routine where basically every time, as soon as I get into bed, I have to sit and just like. I know people say like screens are really bad for sleeping, but I sit watch something for 20 minutes and I can fall asleep almost instantly. Whereas the other night I tried not doing that, and I just tried going to bed pretty like not taking that 20 minutes, and it took me an extra 40 minutes to get to sleep afterwards.
You know, it's probably not such a terrible thing if that helps you to get in a place where you can feel relaxed and go to sleep. You know, for us being able to think clearly and concentrate and do well at school, but also physical performance and health. And I think sometimes teenagers, they're not so worried about the school side of things, but maybe they are worried about their football, for example. And certainly my son, he likes working out and he's quite interested in having the right physique, as it were. And actually that sleep is absolutely fundamental to help him build that muscle tissue. We have growth hormone released in our sleep, so it's repairing ourselves. I know you said to me last week, Rick, about do we grow in our sleep? Well, we don't exactly grow in our sleep, but our body does produce growth hormone. So that is absolutely vital for adults to be able to regenerate, and for children to be able to grow and build their bodies. Our emotions often are affected when we haven't had sufficient sleep, and we notice that in terms of getting irritable and not being able to empathize with other people.
We got told that if like you're struggling to get sleep about something, just like get up and like do something, like don't go on a screen, but just do something, or like walk around your room or something like that, and then try and go back to sleep. That's absolutely what we got told to do if something like that happens.
When we try to sleep, when we put effort into it, when we get cross with ourselves because we can't sleep, it almost inevitably backfires and means that we are more awake because our brain is thinking, must be something wrong with being awake here. Okay, I'm ready for the danger. I'm ready for the battle. I can fight this one. And that's our nervous system jumping into action and getting ready to fight the bear. So it can often mean we're awake a long time. Whereas if we were to maybe get up and do something else, or even sit up and just jot down those thoughts, then it may well be that we can close our eyes again, feel sleepy, close our eyes again and go back to sleep. And our mind knows that those concerns are captured. I think if there's a message for parents, it's just help your children to understand the value of sleep, how they feel when they haven't slept well, and be curious about it with them. When we tell a child, right, you have to sleep now or you must do it like that, they will immediately push back on that. But actually, if we help them to sort of come to their own conclusion that maybe life is feeling quite difficult at the moment because they haven't slept well, then actually that can be quite helpful, and we can go on that journey with them, and also modeling good behavior, because sometimes I know I am not modeling the best behavior, yet I expect my children to be.
Louise, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank
fascinating.
You so much, Rick. Thank you, Yoni, and it's been really lovely to talk with you.
We are extremely excited to have Kellyanne with us in the studio. Yoni.
Woo!
Okay, there you go. That's the excitement. And a little bit about Kellyanne. So Kellyanne is an autism and anxiety sleep specialist supporting families of autistic children who are struggling with sleep, combining professional training with lived experience as a parent in a neurodivergent household. She helps families move from exhaustion and overwhelm to calmer nights and more confident parenting. Kellyanne takes a whole child nervous system-led approach, recognising that sleep difficulties are rarely just bedtime, but connected to anxiety, sensory needs, and regulation across the day. Through her one-to-one programs, resources, and community support, she empowers parents with practical, compassionate strategies that truly fit their child. So welcome, Kellyanne, to our little studio today. Hello.
Hello, it's very nice for you to have me.
Kellyanne, your official title, and I guess, would be a sleep specialist.
Yes, yeah. And it kind of came about quite naturally in the respect of due to my son. My background is actually in teaching, but I ended up having to give up teaching due to my caring role. I've actually got 4 neurodivergent children. My eldest one, he's 24 now, but he's autistic. He's got severe learning disabilities. And when he was little, and obviously he was growing up, We couldn't understand why he was sleeping when he was going to his respite provision, and why, for love nor money, we could not get him settled to sleep at home no matter what we tried. My son was 11 the first time he actually slept through. So I knew firsthand how just being able for the parents to get a good night's sleep makes a massive, massive difference. But equally, for our children to get a decent night's sleep as well, how that has a knock-on effect on their lives, and how everything kind of seems a little bit better and easier to handle, should I say, on a good night's sleep.
So your journey's taken you, let's say, around 14 years so far. And have you noticed a change in society in that time, and how we approach sleep and how we look at sleep? The society's changed, and things like schools and well-being practitioners, the mindset's changed, which has helped facilitate things easier now.
Because I think obviously going to thinking about mental health, there's been so much more understanding and more awareness, where there was a time when that was a really taboo thing to talk about, that you wouldn't kind of discuss any problems you were having or how you were feeling, and I think because that's now kind of gone completely the other way, and that we encourage everybody, to tell people how they feel, to discuss their mental health, and it's not something to be ashamed of if people are struggling. I think because of that, there has been a much wider...
People are in a better place because of the awareness.
That's what I'm trying to say, yeah. And I think because of that, sleep is obviously a big factor in mental health.
It's a bit early for him on the Sunday. It's not 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And you woke up at 2.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm joking.
It's not joking. But interestingly, why did you only wake up at 2? Because we have someone now who might be able to help you get
woke up at 11.
11, okay. Well, I didn't see you till nearly 2.
Next, watch a movie.
Right. Okay, brilliant. How can your teachings and what you're learning, how could that apply to neurotypical folk?
What I always say to all of the clients that I work with is a good sleep routine doesn't actually begin at bedtime. It actually begins the minute you wake up. So that all throughout the day, you are getting in plenty of light, being outside where possible. Obviously, hopefully the weather's perked up, so that might be a lot easier for people. But to do things that probably people know, but don't necessarily always factor into that being part and parcel of a good night's sleep. So things like being able to go out and have some kind of be outside in the fresh air, having that sunlight, being able to go out and do some form of physical exercise, so that you've got your sensory system kind of kickstarting. Now, that will look different for each individual for what they need, but to consider their whole day as part and parcel of their sleep routine.
And what about habits? I mean, you must know that must be old wives' tales, right? That I've always heard this, or maybe they're not. Maybe there's some facts in it. So my mum is always going on to Yoni, or Grandma, as she's known to you, is always going on. Oh, if you sleep more, you grow. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there is truth in that. And especially for teenagers, because obviously when they're going through puberty, actually the pituitary gland actually releases a lot of their growth hormone during sleep. So if they are sleeping, should we say, for a longer period of time, it is actually helping them grow. So there is truth in that. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Have you heard any whoppers though? It's okay to say no. I just wonder if there's some really classics.
Unless, one of the things I think about is it if you eat cheese, you dream of certain things, and things like that. And that is a bit of a whopper. But equally, I always think with a lot of wives' tales.
Is that a whopper with cheese?
To be honest, when you said that, I did think you were just going to start talking about Burger King.
You did. You are that predictable. I was
Yeah.
really proud of that one. Can you not underplay it?
That was really good.
Thanks,
I'm
Jan.
really proud of you.
Sorry, Kellyanne. I just had to
No, it's okay.
make a really bad joke about.
No,
burgers.
it was really good.
Thanks, Yanni.
You're welcome.
All right, go to sleep.
Okay. If it helps me grow, then yeah.
Yeah, got to grow.
So if I eat like a Power Rangers themed cereal,
No, it's not going to happen.
will I not be a Power Ranger in my dream?
Who knows? Give it a try.
Yes.
Right, so you're just, that's 14 years of studying. It's come down to Power Rangers cereal.
Yeah. What else do you
Brilliant.
think it would come down
I
to?
don't know. Do you sleep at night? Do you sleep well?
I do actually. I do, yeah.
Worry about other people sleeping so you don't sleep well.
To be fair, the only time I struggle to sleep and to switch off is if I've got a lot of stuff, obviously, whirring around in my head. I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. But one of the things that I've found helps, definitely for me, and I know obviously for some other people as well that I support, is just literally to get it all out of your head. So whether that's just writing it all down onto like a journal at the side of your bed, and then you can pick it physically, obviously pick it back up in the morning. That helps me to kind of basically get everything dumped out of my head.
Do you think sleep habits have got worse over the last 10 years or so?
100%, yes, because we have so much more going on in our lives, and we have so much more easy distractions. Because obviously, if you think about phones, whatever play system, whether it be Xbox, this is where I'll sound very outdated now, Xbox or PlayStation or
Atari.
whatever is the most up-to-date thing. So obviously, you've got that kind of mental stimulation that's going on, but you've also got the blue light that's being emitted from the screen. And that is one thing that actually slows down or disrupts, should I say, the production of melatonin in the body, which is why you've probably heard a lot of people saying, no screens, 2 hours before bedtime or anything like that. And that is to do with the physical effect of it having on your body of producing that melatonin.
So is that why on phones, I know my iPhone's got it, it's like, it has like, what's it called? Night.
Yes.
What's that called?
Yeah,
It goes orange, the screen goes more orange at night, which is useless.
I think it's because you get really tired. You start seeing.
See orange. No, I mean, as a photographer, it's useless because I can't judge colours properly if the screen turns orange. But is that a genuine help aid, or is it just to placate?
It is actually a genuine help aid. Yeah, I know, because a lot of children, and indeed adults, like you say, have their phones on them all the time. That they're on them first thing in the morning, periodically throughout the day until last thing at night. So it is definitely a feature that I always say, if obviously, life happens, life gets in the way, it's not realistic, I wouldn't say, to say no screens 2 hours before bedtime, because that's not always realistic. But what is helpful is if you can say, right, I'm going to set my phone to, like you say, with that sleep setting from, 7 o'clock at night through till 7 o'clock in the morning, so that if you are on your screen and your tablet or whatever it is, at least you are not having the detrimental effects of the blue light hampering your sleep.
How much sleep should a 16-year-old in an ideal world, Kellyanne, get?
This is actually another myth, as in how many...
Don't say that. Say about 12 hours, please. Can we just edit that in?
Yeah, go to sleep at 6.
Yeah, go to bed at 6 and be up for 7 the next morning. That you'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Anne, we'll cut there. Thank you. No. Go on. What's the myth? I'm fascinated. Are you going to...
Well, as in everybody thinks that you must have a solid 8-hour sleep. And that isn't true, because each person will actually need different amounts of sleep. So again, it's about working with your body. What works for your body. So, typically, I would say a 16-year-old would probably need about, they're going to say, I reckon, about 7 or 8 hours, because that seems to be the standard. But like I say, people function with much less if their body needs less.
When I was filming, I do this basically because there'd be days where I'd wake up at maybe 6, and then days where I'd have to wake up at like 11. I would go to sleep, let's say 6, I go to sleep at like 9:30. And if it was if I had to be up by 11, I'd go to sleep at like, I think 10:30. So is that better than going to sleep at, let's say, 10, but for every single...
regularly, you mean?
Yeah.
So keeping the same bedtime regardless of what time you need to wake up, or adjusting it?
Yeah.
I mean, typically, a good kind of like sleep hygiene rule is that you do stick to a set bedtime and a set getting up time, and that's across the board, whether that's weekdays or weekends. But again, there's a caveat to that in the respect of there might be some days, like you said, that you have to get up extra early so that, you compensate that with going to bed a little bit earlier. And as long as I think those days aren't a regular thing, does that make sense? So that your kind of patterns all over the place.
Yeah.
Then it's about work, really listening to your body and making sure that, you know that if you're going to go to the bed at the set time, but then you have to get up earlier, how is that actually going to affect you the following day? Is that going to make a difference for you and your body, really?
Right, Kellyanne, tell our listeners how they can get in touch and where they can get in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody wants to get in touch with me, you can actually drop me an email at kellyanne@autismsleepsuccess.com. Or alternatively, you can find me both on Facebook as Kellyanne Riley Smith. I also have a Facebook group called Sleep Success for Autistic Children, or again over on Instagram, again with the handle Kellyanne Riley Smith. And it would be lovely to, chat further with people who think that I'm in a position that, if they're having sleep difficulties, that I can maybe help.
Kellyanne, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely chatting to you both this afternoon.
Very interesting. And look forward to speaking to you again at some point. And we'll give you an update on how our sleep patterns have gone.
No, that would be lovely. Yes,
how much Yoni has grown with his extra sleep.
Yes.
3 centimeters.
What, already?
Yeah.
What, just in this interview?
Yeah.
Kellyanne, thanks so much.
And that was the Generation Gapcast Sleepcast. Cast.
Tired.
Oh, I get it. Because we were doing a sleep one and you made a joke about you being tired and then wanting to go to sleep.
Yeah. Is that not funny?
No.
Well, it's been a very interesting one. Quite a high level for us today, I think.
Yeah.
Have you learnt a lot?
Yeah.
Have you learnt anything?
Yeah. Well, yeah, if I've learnt a lot, that tends to mean I've learnt something. If you said, have you learnt anything and have you learnt a lot, that would make more sense.
I'm just really tired.
You know what that means?
I need to get more sleep.
See how we worked that, guys?
Yeah, see what we did there. See what we did there. So that was that. And that was apologies for the slightly big gap between podcasts, but it was, half term. And
we wanted to give you some rest and sleep. Do you get it? I did it again.
Yeah, you see what you did there. Let's say it one more time.
Sleep.
Yeah, and rest. Can you imagine if your surname was Rick Sleep and Yoni Rest? Oh, I'm Sleep.
They have to be northern.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sleep.
And I'm Rest. Together we're
Sleep
Rick and Yoni.
Sleep and Rest. Like a really bad band.
Sleep and Rest. That would be a terrible band.
If you want to come in contact with us,
in contact with us?
No.
What if you see us on the street? Just cross the road.
No, get in contact with us. That's it. My bad. You can email us at studio@generationgapcast.com. And is it .com?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The studio at Generation Gapcast. And if you want to get in touch with either of our two fantastic guests that we had on in this episode, we will pass your details to them if you want their services, and they are very, very lovely and super talented. So thank you, Louise and Kellyanne, for joining us, and we've got a lot to take on, haven't we, and try and implement. You're right, Yoni?
Sorry.
Stop playing Xbox.
No, I was just trying to implement it now.
No, not now. At least wait till we finish talking.
Okay.
But you've been listening to Rick and Yoni, and we're the Generation Gapcast, and we've been tired. Why do you sound like a horse? What are you doing?
I can do a really good horse impression.
Go on,
hear it.
Go on.